Welcome back to Scenes from the Screen, where we talk about all types of films and TV. Obscure, forgotten, prestigious, rotten, from must-see to, are you kidding me? Big screen and small, we cover it all. Who knows? You might discover a new gem or be reintroduced to an old favorite. My name is Sean, and I'll be your host. Welcome back, Holly.
Glad to be here. Thanks for the invite.
Well, you know you're always invited.
Mm-hmm. Sometimes I feel like I'm not, but that's
You
okay.
are always invited.
I talked too much last time.
You did not. I love the fact that you talked that much. It shows you're interested.
It does.
Well, are you interested, though?
Yes,
I guess it showed
interested,
it, but I didn't know. Okay, I just wanted to make sure. Well, you'll have a brief reprieve in 2 weeks, because next week you'll be with me again. We're going to be doing Spider-Man Brand New Day.
I'm very excited to go see that.
Yeah, I am too. I actually, early reports, I've not read anything, but I've seen the headline saying it's the best Spider-Man in 20 years. So I'm actually really looking forward to it. But today I chose, I guess.
You chose. I did not choose.
Right. I chose only because I was doing research one day for something I'm sure was pretty weird, as I normally do. It always takes me down a rabbit hole. And this particular research I was doing led me to Sam Elliott's birthday, which is, I believe, August 9th. So I thought, since I just seen a movie that he was in a few weeks before that I'd never heard of called The Hero, I thought, well, why not, since he's a goddamn national treasure? I'm sure you agree with that. Sam Elliott.
Sam Elliott is, yes.
He's awesome.
He's amazing.
So I thought, well, let's do a special for his birthday and highlight a couple movies. So we're going to do The Hero from 2017. But I thought, well, why not make it a twofer?
I like the twofers.
You like the twofers. And the twofer is one that we'd seen before, but it'd been a while, so we watched it again, was The Man Who Killed Hitler and Then the Bigfoot.
The Man Who Killed Hitler ain't then the Bigfoot. I don't think there's an end.
No, it is. There is a, yes, it's The Man Who Killed Hitler and Then the Bigfoot.
Okay.
Because I love that title for various reasons, awesome. Because it all depends on how you look at it. But we'll get to that in a moment. The Hero is about Sam Elliott plays an aging, I would guess, movie star, as what you call him.
Sort,
actor, yes. Right. And when we open up on the film, he's doing voiceovers for a chicken, I guess not a chicken place, but a barbecue.
Right. It seemed almost biographical of him too, though, in a way, because of, aging. And although in real life, Sam Elliott's still pretty much a major actor.
He's in demand.
In the movie, he wasn't, but it seemed a lot of biographical stuff to me.
Correct. Yeah. And we were actually going to get to that too, because both of the films, I think, were very biographical in a way, not biographical, but they had a certain theme.
Okay.
To them. And you're staring down mortality. You're coming to the end of your life. So yes, I'm sorry. Yeah, not necessarily.
Yeah.
That. But
caught me off guard on that one.
Yeah. Sorry about that. But yeah, it was a common theme. I thought I saw in both. So I don't know if you agree, but in The Hero, so he at the beginning, it's a short film. It's a little over an hour and a half. I think it was like an hour and 38 minutes, something like that. In the film, at the very beginning, he gets he's trying to look for work.
Right.
You can tell he's irritated with the voiceover stuff because they keep asking him to repeat it, which is actually kind of comical.
Right. They ask him to repeat it, but they're not telling him why or what to change.
Yes.
And he even asks, like, how do you want it different? And they're like, just say it again. So it's like a waste of time. Yeah.
And his acting is so good that you could tell he's getting irritated without maybe only a minor change in facial expression.
Right.
His eyes really do all the heavy lifting. And his voice, too, even though it's the same, you could tell it's a little bit more exasperated each and every time he does it, in a way. But I think that's only because you see him. But then he finds he's trying to get more work. He calls his agent. There's really nothing coming in per se. And then he finds out he was diagnosed with pancreatic cancer. Mm-hmm. After that, he kind of starts to, I guess, take stock of his life a little bit.
Well, he reaches out to people that
his ex-wife
and his
played
daughter.
by Catherine Ross, his real life wife since 1984.
And his daughter, who he has a very strained relationship
with.
Yes,
I think you were going to say estranged as well. You're right. You kind of got caught up. Yeah, because I was thinking estranged. Mm-hmm. And that's played by Kristen Ritter from Jessica Jones and Breaking Bad. She was in Breaking Bad also. So he lives next door, I would say, to kind of a drug dealer. Nick Offerman plays the drug dealer.
Right, he's definitely a drug dealer.
Yes, but a really cool one. It seems like they hang out together a lot. They smoke weed.
Well, they were in a movie or a show together when Nick Offerman was young. That's how they met.
Yes, yeah, they were he played a boy in some sort of a Western. So that's how they remained friends. And oddly enough, in real life, they were in Parks and Rec together,
They both
playing the
played
two
Ron.
Rons. Yeah, I mean, that's hysterical. I'm sure.
So I'm wondering if they became friends after that. Because it's an odd role for Nick Offerman. It's not like, although I love Nick Offerman, but it's not that I wasn't expecting to see him because I didn't look to see who was in the movie. So when I'm like, oh my God, that's Nick Offerman. Like, it was a shock. It just, I don't know. It seemed like outside of his normal realm, but kind of everything he does is a little unique, though, if you think about it.
Last of Us was totally different
Right,
from his normal realm. So I almost expected to see him pop up in anything, and I'm overjoyed that he does because I love Nick Offerman. But so when he goes over and he's hanging out with him, they're watching old films, like Buster Keaton films. And someone else comes to get drugs, and that's Laura Prepon, who was in that 70s show and Orange is the New Black. I didn't see Orange is the New Black. You watched that.
Oh, that was an awesome show. She's gorgeous and amazing. I like her a lot.
Yeah, she plays Charlotte. So she kind of takes a liking to Sam Elliott's character, Lee, and
she's a thing for old men.
She does. And she notes that he's sad. You know, she said not old sad men, but she has a thing for older men. And she's a stand-up comedian. So actually, he is invited to this Lifetime Achievement Award to accept a Lifetime Achievement. And he asks his daughter, who can't go, so he asks Charlotte, Laura Prepon's character, and they take drugs beforehand. And
yeah, she gives him ecstasy or something, or Molly.
I think it is, yes. So when they go into the Lifetime Achievement, they're all both pretty high.
Yes, very high.
And here is a little aside, but in the movie is the head of everything is Max Gale, Wojciech Howitz from Barney Miller.
Right. And the Lifetime Achievement Award was for some little brinky-dink outfit, some group that likes Westerns. So it's not like it was a Lifetime Achievement for a big famous.
Right. It wasn't like the Academy Awards or anything like that. So he's all high and he delivers a speech that basically says that we're all worthy of an award. So he hands it out to a random person in the audience, played by Patrika Darbo, who was in Seinfeld, and she was in, remember we watched The Vagrant with Bill Paxton, which is a weird movie.
Right.
I'd like to do that at some point too, because that's a very odd film. But so he goes viral.
Yeah, because his acceptance speech was so out there, and he was just saying how, everybody deserves the award, you deserve the award, and he gives it to her. So he becomes in demand when that goes viral. It's like, wow, look how cool this dude is. He's just so nice. And everybody, and he became famous again.
And one of the offers that he gets is for, they never say what it is, but it's almost like a young adult adaptation. And he plays like a father figure role.
Yeah, that's what it seemed like. Yeah.
Yes. So when he goes in to read the lines, he tears up. And, because it reminds him of his relationship with his daughter in a way, like stuff he, I guess, can't say or something that will probably never happen between the two of them.
Right. Well, I think too, because the line in the fake movie line was, "I didn't die," because it was almost to me like she thought he was talking to a girl. I got the impression, and the lines were like, "I didn't die. I came back to help you." And she was mad. "Why are you here?" And he's like, "Came back to help you." But just talking about dying. And that's part of the movie when his treatment options were being discussed. And he knows he's going to die.
Right. And he even says during the movie at one point, one of the lines was, "I don't know if it's worth it buying time," which is, I thought, a great line.
That is
probably the best line of the film. Right. So that's the gist of it. And then the rest explores his relationship, honestly, with, again, repairing it with his ex-wife. In a great scene, he's telling her about what's going on with him, but there's no dialogue.
I thought that was fantastic the way they did that, because you didn't have to see their faces or hear their dialogue. It was just far enough away. It was just through their body language and the music.
Yes.
That you knew he was telling his ex-wife that he was going to die, because he had not, prior to that, he never told anyone, except he just opened up to Laura, the Charlotte character, and she told him, "You have to tell your family," and convinced him that he has to tell them, because he stood up his daughter. I forget what happened, why he stood her up, because they were going to meet for dinner or lunch, and he stood her up, and you could tell.
I think it was just him going through
he's
the process of dealing with.
And they need to know why he's being such a jerk.
More so than I guess he normally was in the past.
Right. But I think too, in the way, like when he finally does talk to his daughter about it, she was pissed. Like, he was telling her for him, not for her. because he was never there for her. So he was just telling her so he would feel better about it. And I thought that was a really cool scene. I thought both actors were amazing in it too.
I agree. And I have to be, I mean, Sam Elliott, well, he's great in anything. Again, so that's just on the table, put it out there. I will watch him in anything. I mean, I loved him in his brief appearance in a movie I don't like, and a lot of people do, is The Big Lebowski. I'm just not a fan of that movie, but I love, Sam Elliott pops up, you elevate it like 100-fold.
What is he, 80, 81 or something now?
He is, I believe he's 81, yes.
Yeah, and he's still, I mean, he looks old, don't get me wrong, but he's still so sexy. He's like an empathetic, kind, thoughtful man's man. Like he comes off very manly.
Comes off as rugged
and like, cowboy,
burly,
all that burly stuff. But then he also comes off very kind and genuine and thoughtful, more of a sensitive man. So he seems to be able to take both sides of himself and merge into one. And not too many actors or men even can come off with that. And he's still very, very sexy. And that voice. And when he was playing, this is where I think it was more biographical. He was playing an older actor who's famous for his voice. And Sam Elliott is famous for his voice.
Yes. Yeah, that is correct. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, well, more than that, but his voice is very distinctive.
Everyone knows Sam Elliott's voice.
Yes.
Like you hear it, that's him.
So the film did have its problems. One is that dream they kept going to. His dream, him being, I thought it was, it was supposed to be some motif, I guess, of him because he saw a man hanging.
Or was that a movie that he did? I didn't understand.
I was confused because he did do a movie called The Hero, which the title was based on. And it's this, and here's another problem. This is the celebrated film, I guess, that people know him for and loved it. And he even says that's the best work I've ever done. But I never feel it because nobody else even talks about it. It's not like he's not, I don't know. There's just something about it.
Like they edited something out to explain that more to us. Like, I don't think it was told what that was and what that was about.
And if the dream was meant to represent that, I don't think that did it very well.
No, and plus it bothered me that there were other people in it. Like if it was him talking about dreaming or having a sense of his own mortality relating back to a movie he did, there were other characters in it. So was it a movie? Was it like, I didn't understand that. I thought that was weak, a weak part of the movie.
And that's where it lingered too long. It's shot very well. Like I really think the director did a great job in shooting it, and the cinematographer. But again, like the dream sequences didn't really add anything to the story for me. I think they should have done more with that audition and made it his final role.
I thought the audition was amazing. I thought watching Sam Elliott cry like that is hard for me certain men can cry and it doesn't bother me because they aren't good criers. Sam Elliott, that was the first time I ever saw him cry like that I can remember in a movie.
Because he actually broke down.
Other than the other movie we talked about. But him crying is just amazing. Like he really, I feel like he felt that, and I teared up, but I cry a lot. But I teared up.
I did not, but the scene was very well acted.
Yeah, and I like how they didn't really show the other two people that much. It was more just his face.
I agree. And like I said, some of it was not that part, but some of the film overall was a little heavy-handed, but it was also not fully formed at the same time, which is very odd. I thought, so again, some of the choice they made with the actual overall story, like I thought it would have been more interesting to explore, because of that viral speech that he did, that it would have been more interesting to explore his career resurgence and at the same time maybe deal with his pancreatic cancer. Again, making that his final role and putting it, trying to put his life all back together instead of it still was kind of fractured in a way. Like I said, I don't really know what they were going for in terms of that.
Yeah, I think it was neat that they kept the movie only a few days. It seemed to only be a few days, like maybe a week or two of time.
I agree. It wasn't very long.
Right. And I like that. But if you're going to talk about like this role in reflecting on this movie, it's almost like I needed to see more than just a few days. Because if you're going to go into all this other stuff visually, like you could talk about it, but they went into it with the movie dream sequence and all that. We needed to know more. It would have been interesting to have more about what actually happened to him.
Right. And I also, I know we kind of bypassed this a little bit, but there's Laura Prepon is so good in this.
She is.
I mean, she's really good in everything. I wish we would see her in more things. But the one thing I really thought about her in this film is that she has these really stunning eyes. And it looks like behind those eyes, the wheels are always turning. Like there's something always clicking. They're alive. And that's not like a calculating way or like a mischievous, but it's more thinking. She's very into the scene with whoever it is. And no matter what scene it was, again, there's something like sly about it too, so.
Right. I think at first, when we first started watching the movie, I was not enjoying it. And I told you, I don't think I like this movie. It was slightly slow. And I guess because I'm just so in tune with more, you get the way movies are today and not so much storytelling. But then once I really got into it, I did start to enjoy it a lot. And a thing that bothered me initially was as soon as she walked into that door into Nick Offerman's house, the drug dealer's house, I was like, if they make a romantic connection between Laura Prepon and Sam Elliott, which there has to be he has to be at least twice her age. She's probably in her late 30s, if that.
It's almost, I think it's like at least a 30-year difference.
She's older. She's not 50.
Well, yeah, no, probably 40.
So that I was like, gross, first of all. And I don't know if I love Sam Elliott and I find him sexy, but I think seeing him in a sex scene is kind of like taking away the mystique of Sam Elliott. However, I think they filmed it very well. And once you get to know her character, you kind of see her with an old man. So it didn't bother me after the initial, oh God, please don't do that. Because they do that a lot. An old man with a young woman. That's, Hollywood.
That's they did it well. Yeah, very similar to what I thought too. I'm like, oh, here we go. The old trope about she falls in love with it. But they make it work so well that I think any other actors in those roles, it just would not have worked.
No, it worked.
But they made it work very well because it's very believable.
Mm-hmm.
So this movie is on, for those who are interested, it's on Amazon for free and also the Roku channel. So
I do recommend it.
Yeah, in terms of rewatchability, I would not watch it again. But to watch it the first time, yes.
Yes, I would watch it, but I would not watch it again.
Yeah. Sam Elliott, again, for the cast, and like I said, it is well done.
Very well, but it's sad.
It is sad. Which brings us to the next movie. Well, I first came upon this several years ago, and when you hear a title like "The Man Who Killed Hitler" and then the Bigfoot, the Bigfoot, right? It's not just Bigfoot; he's the Bigfoot, like the Ohio State University. Right. So a lot of importance is lent to the Bigfoot in this one. So I had to look it up because I'm trying to think when it was set in. It was set in late 80s. I think 87 is when they said it was set in. I mean, the title is just awesome in and of itself.
Yeah, the title, it's just, and that's what happened, like it's from
right. They weren't lying. They're not fucking around.
That's the character. That's what happened.
Yeah, he is the man who killed Hitler and then the Bigfoot. So
not really that close together in time.
Yeah, right. It's so that that's going to happen. And when the first time we saw it, I think we were both taken aback by how much of a relationship story it is.
Right.
It's about him younger and older and dealing with his mortality in a way.
Right. And this time, I didn't notice it so much the first time, but this time his relationship with his brother, I thought was
played by Larry Miller,
which was really amazing and very well done. And it was touching. It was very touching.
I do agree with that. Well, let's go into the story a little bit. Okay. So when the film opens, it's during World War II. He's a younger man, and he covertly sneaks in as an SS agent, and eventually reveals over the time that he assassinated Hitler. But it was one of the many Hitler.
There were more than one Hitlers because
correct doppelgangers.
And I did
around.
Like that. That was really interesting. And when they said, "Why do you think he's so caricaturish?" is because they put him. He is almost costume-like. If you think about Hitler, he looks like anyone can dress up and look exactly like Hitler. And that's so he can have doppelgangers or body doubles. Exactly.
Yeah. And so he assassinated one of them, if maybe the right one.
He assassinated three of them.
That's true. Yeah, he did assassinate three. So now he's called upon by the United States government to kill Bigfoot. Yeah, so Bigfoot is, and here's just an interesting twist on that. It's not just because, hey, I just want you to kill Bigfoot. There's a serial killing up in Canada, but it's not just Bigfoot in a way serial killing. The Bigfoot has a virus.
Well, they tell you it's serial killer. Because the news is telling about the serial killer in Canada, and you keep seeing news articles laying down, and they kind of look at it in the background. It's not up in your face. And then when the FBI comes, which is Ron Livingston.
Yes, from Office Space. Yeah, couldn't think of the name. Yeah,
and many other things. But they come to talk to him, and they're like, yeah, it's not really a serial killer. It's Bigfoot with a very bad virus.
And he happens to be immune. Sam Elliott's character is immune.
One of 3 people that have this blood type that's immune to the virus.
Correct. Yeah. So, and the other one was a baby.
One's a baby and one's dead.
Yeah. One. Like so he's really the only one that can do this, and he can track.
And he's a tracker, yes. And he's very intelligent military person. Like he was extremely gifted soldier who does not like to kill. So I thought that was so awesome. Like killing to him was he didn't want to kill Hitler. He didn't want to do any of these things, but he had to because he does what he's told because he's a good soldier and he's a good person. And someone tells him to do something, he does it. He listens to the authority and the rules. And that was a sad thing.
Well, he also saw it as a waste of time because he killed the Hitlers, but the Hitler's message lived on.
Right.
That was the thing. So that he figured that was a waste of time.
You killed a human being, but still the idea and the hate was still there.
Correct. Yeah. That was very interesting. Yeah.
Very timely for today.
I agree.
Since fascism is back.
The cast is amazing. I mean, so we already mentioned Ron Livingston and Larry Miller, stand-up comedian who plays his brother. Alden Turner plays Sam Elliott as a younger man.
He looked like him. He resembled him too.
And a little of the voice, just a little bit.
And a little bit. Like you could see that the actor was probably trying to get the voice because that's, like we said, Sam Elliott's voice is
right. It's very distinctive. Mm-hmm. And Caitlin Fitzgerald plays his love interest back in around the World War II time. Mm-hmm. She was in Masters of Sex and Succession. And so it kind of focuses on their relationship too. He tries to propose but he has to go off to war, and she writes him letters, and he doesn't respond because they're not allowed to know where he is.
Right, because he's so covert with his skill set.
But yeah, so it goes back and forth in time. Now, I did find on the repeat viewing that at the end, it really went on a little bit too long. I think they should have moved that around in a story about him and the love interest.
I agree. I think it was timing that wasn't the best place to put that scene, but I didn't think it necessarily went too long. I just really loved it.
Well, it lingered long at the end because, I mean, again, you get out, like after you killed the Bigfoot. So I know that's not what the movie's about. You can linger on a little bit longer because there's a reason to, and we won't get into that. The reason why we linger a little bit longer.
When was this movie made?
2018.
We can spoil it, babe.
Well, basically, he almost dies when killing the Bigfoot.
People think he's dead,
but he's actually not. I still don't know how he gets away with that because isn't he living in his house, or where is he living somewhere else? I guess that's what I'm confused about.
Well, no, they thought he was dead until he came back. Like the government had him.
Right. I just thought they still thought, other than his brother, I thought that everyone still thought that he.
Well, I'm sure people eventually saw him hanging around. He didn't care to tell anyone. He wasn't. What I thought was really
flashy.
Sad about him is he was very solitary man. He never fell in love again after the girlfriend before the war. He never had a family. It was just him and his dog. He just never had any relationships because he was so adept at what he did in his skill set that he never made connections with people. It's almost like he was an assassin that didn't make connections, that really hated killing and didn't want to kill anything.
And she ended up passing away at some point. I'm not sure exactly when.
It seemed like while he was away at war or right when he came back, because someone said something about her being very young.
Yeah, it was his brother.
Yeah.
Yeah, because she kept in touch with him.
At his funeral.
Yeah, at his funeral, right. So at his what you thought was his funeral.
What you thought was.
But yeah, I think, and I hope I don't butcher the name. So it was wonderfully written and directed by Robert D. Tchaikovsky. And I believe that's how you pronounce it.
Sounds good.
And I think this film needs love because it's really well done. And the writer hasn't really done anything since then. I don't know why, because
it's such a cool story.
It is a cool story.
It is a very cool story. A character-driven, nice story. A little sad, but not as sad as the hero, but a little sad. But it was a beautiful story.
Yeah, it was completely different than what I expected when we went into it. Because you see a thing like that, like, man, it's fucking awesome.
It was a very internal Sam Elliott. He wasn't like bold and brash, like in Roadhouse, where he was like the big cowboy,
which I just watched earlier.
And both of these movies, he's more peaceful,
introspective.
Introspective. And I'm not used to seeing him that way. And I like this movie. I just love the story because he's such a good person. Like he's a truly good person that even when he kills the Bigfoot, who has this terrible virus, that if he gets out of this 50-mile radius circle that they have in Canada,
That's it for the human race.
It's it for the human race because animals are getting it, and people won't be able to eat, and it's just going so fast. And at first you're like, well, how does he have to kill this Bigfoot? What's the big deal? And then you realize that it's going to wipe out a lot of living things.
And he even takes pity on it.
Right. And he feels so bad killing it. Like he didn't want to kill it the way he thought he killed it. And he's like, I didn't want to do this. And it's just so sad because he really didn't want to kill the Bigfoot.
Yeah.
He didn't want to kill again. And he says that to his brother. I don't want to kill again. And it's just very sweet and very touching.
That was another odd pairing of Larry Miller being his brother. But I mean, I love Larry Miller too. I mean, 10 Things I Hate About You. Yeah. I mean, great stand-up comedian.
Yeah.
Just phenomenal. So again, Elliott gets lucky because he's surrounded by great actors with him in these two films.
He is very.
Nobody is. I'd say in either film there was not one bad performance.
No, every person has a reason to be there. The characters are realistic, and it's like I said, it's the story and the characters, the actors and the characters seem part of that story. Like, watch movies, sometimes they have some random character and they make them all silly and too over the top. That wasn't either one of these movies.
And what you thought by the title of the second one, that's what it was going to be.
It's going to be very over the top.
I mean, that's what drew me in,
right.
To be honest with you, the title, because how do you not love a title like that?
Right.
But it's a completely different movie, and I love when something can surprise me because that rarely happens anymore.
Yeah, we were really not prepared for that movie when we first watched
when I told you the title, I think you rolled your eyes many times.
What is he making me watch now?
But
what craziness.
Is it rewatchable? It is.
Yes, I loved watching it again.
I would give it some time. I wouldn't want to keep seeing. If it's on TV, I'd probably watch it for a few minutes. Mm-hmm. But if it had been a while, I'd watch the whole thing.
Right.
Because it is very well done.
New things this time.
Yeah, you always see something different. And that's a tribute to a good film. The
brother relationship, really, like before, the first time I watched it was the romantic relationship with the girl, of course, because that's a primary focus. But then when you really watch the movie and see how solitary and how lonely he is, and he lives in the same town, I assume, as his brother, but they don't really see each other much. Like, he's just so alone, and all he has is his dog, and anybody with a dog.
That's a great relationship with the dog as well. Yeah.
Yeah, but when he's talked about getting a haircut, his brother's a barber, and he goes, "Did you get your haircut somewhere else?" And he's like, "Yeah." Like,
it is those little unspoken things that only brothers can do. I mean, they're both, and it seems like Sam Elliott went through maybe a phase where he was kind of thinking about his own mortality. Is that maybe the reason? Well, he is. Well, back then, but then he was about 70 something because this was almost 10 years ago. So I would say 72. It comes a long way from, and a movie I would love to do with him in it, and not many people think about, is Frogs.
I know you made me.
I love Frogs. Yeah. I mean, Frogs is amazing, but that's for the horror. Right. Maybe the 31 Days of Halloween will add that on. I
think both of these movies are so different than what you would see. Like, he was in 1883, which is one of my favorite shows, and I'm not a Western fan, and that movie was fantastic. That show was fantastic, and that's the Sam Elliott I know. The one from the cowboy, all the westerns, the bar guy, the motorcycle rider and Mask. That's a Sam Elliott, and this is so far removed from that. Both of these movies, that's why I really, really liked them. So if you have any Sam Elliott admiration in you, it's worth a watch.
Yeah, if you're a person who hates Sam Elliott, then you're an asshole.
Right. If someone says that movie, I don't want to see Sam Elliott's in it, I'm gonna punch you.
Yeah, I mean, who would say that? I can't. I just can't imagine anybody not liking Sam Elliott.
When I told Mom that we were doing this with Sam Elliott, she goes, "Oh, he's so sexy." That's all my mom said.
He's fantastic. So this movie can be found, currently on Hulu, Roku channel, and Tubi. Watch it. Watch both of them. It's a nice double feature because it's only about a little over 3 hours long. I don't think either are wasting your time.
No, I don't either. But if I had to pick one over the other one, I would pick the Man That Killed Hitler and then the Bigfoot.
I would too. Yeah, I mean, you start with that one and then go into the hero.
And then go into the hero,
Right. But like I said, either one you will not be disappointed with.
How can you be disappointed Nick Offerman in something?
Exactly. Like I said, the cast of both. I did not expect him to be in that. No. Because I tried not to look too much of it up before. I like to be surprised when I can.
You don't even tell me the titles of these movies when we start.
True.
Until I sit down.
Well, I did tell you the title of, I think the original we saw it, The Man Who Killed Hitler. And
yes, that one, but not.
Because I was so impressed with the title. Yeah. So I'd like to see more by that director.
And even the first,
the director of The Hero as well. But like I said, that one, I think, suffered from script issues.
Right.
Maybe
editing.
Editing, right. I think they tried to tell a little bit too much, but there wasn't enough information.
Right. I agree.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
You do.
That's all that matters.
And so next week we will be back with Spider-Man. Brand new day.
Web slinger.
That wraps up another episode, so make sure you hit that subscribe button and download new episodes every Saturday on your favorite podcast platform. For Scenes from the Screen, I'm Sean, and thanks for listening.